insane! Hello, and welcome to the Madhouse, episode number 98. I'm Ultimate Spy 53, the host of this podcast, and joining me this week, I have...
I'm Chakky, I'm a weed.
I'm Lucas, I'm a person. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just a person. You're a human. Okay,
human. Probably.
So...
I might be.
Yeah, I think that this week we're probably going to have multiple topics because I don't really have anything really else to talk about. But I have been interested in talking about some stuff that looks really interesting. I'm going to kind of briefly mention, I don't want to like make the podcast centered on one topic specifically, just kind of like jumble around, kind of like we did in the old days where we had that. And the first one is the topic of video editing, because I've been doing a lot of that. I don't know if you know anything about video editing, like how it works. Like, I don't know, it's crazy.
I know absolutely nothing about video editing.
I know some things about it.
Yeah, so basically with video editing, it's very different from editing with a movie because you have so much more to work with. You don't have all the... Well, you have effects, but like it's not like cinematography you have to work with, so it's like you have to cut things, you have to add a text or whatever. With my review show, I like to put text on it so I can have the number pop up. Like, that's really cool. And I have to like record it depends on what the video is. If it's a game, it depends on the video size or the game size. If it's like an online game, I have to record with a thing I call flashback recorder, and I record the region. A region is basically like a part of the screen. So like you'll be online, there'll be a window that has a game in it, and you basically outline that window, and that's how you record it. Depending on the game, if it's like Happy Wheels, and I'll record with my other recording software, which is the Monoscope, which weirdly enough, that software only lets me like record like a certain width of the screen. It's really weird. I don't know why it does that, but I can only record a certain like series with that. And the difference between Monoscope and the one I use is that Monoscope, it looks like when you finish recording, you can save it and you can just edit from there. But with Flashback, you save it and then you have to then go into the Flashback, take out the mouse cursor thing, which is weird because it shows up with highlighted mouse. I don't know if you know about that. Like, you see videos where you have that, where people have the highlighted mouse and clicking. It's really weird. So you have to take that out, save it, and then here's the weird thing. It doesn't let you edit it after. You have to actually go into Movie Maker, save it as the file it was saved as, and then edit. Now I wouldn't use Movie Maker. I only use Movie Maker for my coaster series, like for the intro. That's it. I've been using Movie Maker less because it's so bad. It's one of the worst systems I only use it for my coaster because weirdly enough, when I want to get the effect of my number popping up like going. I tried using it in Vegas, it doesn't work at all. So I had to go into Movie Maker, add the effect, and that's the only way it works. And then I saved it. That's all I use it for. In fact,
that's a really, really inefficient way to do it.
I know.
And you should probably figure out some kind of alternative.
I know. I mean, I literally, I've tried to do that same effect in Vegas, and it won't work at all. In fact, I've completely stopped editing this podcast in Movie Maker. I found out a way to actually phase in. I've encountered, because what I used to do is when I would animate the intro music to the cast picture, I would have to use a certain animation with Movie Maker. Then I realized I can literally like put the clip of the cast photo with the audio and then place it on top of here, so it just transitions. So it looks exactly the same as it did in the Movie Maker editing. So, because Movie Maker sucks, because you can't, with Sony Vegas, which is a way better program to use for editing, you can add like a window for your let's say you're recording a gameplay, and you want your face cam. You have to put your face cam over here. You can't do the Movie Maker. You can like take this thing and then like shrink it up and down depending on the size of the face cam. But with Movie Maker, if you want to just edit a podcast or an audiobook or something, you can't put music only. It'll say, oh, you have to put the last thing in the timeline. It's like, well, fuck you then. So it's like, it's really inconvenient when I'm like trying to record and I edit something, and it's like I can't just put music. I have to put some kind of picture there, and it's ridiculous. So like, I remember when I was editing.
It's a video editing program.
Editing the Madhouse, and I think it's been about a few weeks since I stopped using Movie Maker for the Madhouse. Is that I would add the the intro, which is the theme song, and then I would add the special intro that I have for all the episodes I've done, which is like you're completely mad and you're saying thing, and then unfortunately, if once I add that in there, it says, oh, this is the music file. Whoop, I'm gonna go all the way down here, and then I have to move. I had to slowly move it up the timeline, but with Vegas Pro, you can literally just go back and it won't have to even be a thing. This is why that software is better than Movie Maker, because Movie Maker is like the first video editing software that anybody on YouTube would use.
Yeah.
Like that's the very first thing they would.
Professional. I mean, it's not professional at all.
Like Movie Maker, like the free thing that comes with like new PC.
Yeah.
Then, like,
it also is like the
Comes
first
with
thing
Windows,
that people, if they're making YouTube poop, would use Movie Maker. Like I have small channels where their first like few years of their content is literally, oh yeah, by the way, I use Movie Maker for all these my TPs. I'm like, well, it isn't bad, but probably should get a better software because that sucks. Because I really hate Movie Maker. I only legit use it for that one thing. Like literally, the only thing I use it for is to resave a file if it's using flashback, because it's the only way I can record a screen. And if it's like a certain region, it doesn't fit, because I don't want to have a video where it has like white in the background and then like the choppy thingy, because it just looks weird. So like I have to record it using flashback, but then once I save it, I had to then save it again in Movie Maker, because I've tried opening the Sony Vegas with the file that I've just had, and it won't let me do it because I have to save it in Movie Maker. It's stupid, but I don't know. Like when I do regular videos, I have to record my face cam, I have to record the video, and then I have to record the audio, because if I discovered that if I don't have Audacity running in the background, my audio is gonna be shit. I haven't discovered this a long time ago, that I don't know, 2 months ago, that my audio was really bad when I was recording for example, my Battle for Middle-earth series. I would record this game, and it would be awful with the audio. Like, it would use my webcam audio, and it sounded like shit. It was so bad, like the worst audio you could hear. And so I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? So I'm like, I have Audacity. I should try using Audacity. Use that, or it works a lot better. Only problem is, because maybe the quality of my webcam, it tends to be really crappy too. Like when I do my outro, when I say thank you guys so much for watching, or when I say it sounds like it just blows out. It's like, it's so bad. But I don't know. I feel like video editing is I feel like it's easier than making a movie. When you post-productioning a movie, not only does it take longer for a movie, but it's just a lot more. You can do a lot more with it. But yeah, that's just like. I would recommend, if you're doing any kind of video editing, don't use Movie Maker anymore. Try not to avoid it. It's horrible. It's a piece of shit.
Yes, it is.
I don't even know why. Well, I used it because it was the only thing I could use, but then I realized I could do other things.
Everybody pretty much starts out with everybody on.
I was taking video editing in summer quarter of Edmonds, and it only used Macs. Imagine having to be in a class where they use a computer that's the complete opposite of what you use at home. It's horrible. It's really hard to use. It isn't. I don't even know how to use this thing. Like, I'm taking a class at summer quarter. I'm taking a video editing class. I have no idea how to use this program or the computer itself. It's a Mac. I don't use Mac.
That's frustrating.
It is frustrating, because I'm like, I can't get this to work. It makes no sense. It's a different.
The same.
Different environment. Like, I don't know how.
What even is a Mac? How do I do this?
It's like, I can't do it. It won't work, kind of thing. Like, or I think the problem was the mouse. I would click a lot. It would click a lot. It wouldn't work. And I was using Adobe Premiere, CC or something like that. One of those programs. Very different from what I normally use, because I normally use Sony Vegas. Same idea, but very different. But I feel like with video editing with YouTube. Here's the problem with editing with Vegas, is that rendering time takes forever. I don't know how it does this, but like,
because it's exporting high quality footage. Like,
if I record for 30 minutes, it takes like over an hour, or it takes like 2 hours to render it. It's ridiculous.
Try using After Effects, rendering something with tons of different visual effects in it, and having it take a literal day.
Yeah.
Because that's what I have to go through.
It's pretty bad. Like, I would record my face cam. I would make sure because I used to do where I would used to record my gameplay first, and then a few seconds later say my intro from my webcam, and then sync it. And after I finish recording, sync it up to my, so I could cut the part where my audio starts and cut the part where my video starts, then sync them together, and then mute the audio on my webcam because that's shit anyway, and then cut the part where I'm about to play the other game, and then do that. You can
probably disable it. Recording the audio from the webcam.
I actually from my Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth series, because I only record with my phone, which I'm gonna have to get rid of. I'm gonna have to like change my option because it's not good when I record my Let's Play series, which is awesome by the way. I discovered that it only lets me record about 35 minutes of footage because it's the phone and it's an Android, and recording a video on an Android doesn't give you the I can't record forever, so I have to like stop. So like I remember last week or something, I recorded my episode, and I had literally just won the game, like the level, and it cut right there, and I had to like pause it and go, and then take like, I don't know, a while to let it load. I'm like, okay guys, sorry, yeah, the video cut there, I just won. And it's like, that's why you don't use a phone to record videos with, unless it's like a selfie or something.
Yeah. That's why you don't do that, because do not record your screen with the phone.
I remember when I was 14 and I was recording YouTube videos, I would record videos with my Windows phone. That was my recording thing. I would do that.
Oh god, that's like double awful, because who the hell has a Windows phone?
Well, I used to use one. I think the only benefit of having a Windows phone anymore is the games, because literally, have I talked about this before?
They don't make Windows phones anymore.
They have third party, but I don't think I talked about this before. But I had a lot of games on my Windows phone connected to my Xbox profile, and a lot of them games I actually unlocked achievements for, like Angry Birds. I got all 6 for free, and then basically I didn't have Windows phone anymore. And then like, wait, I can get the same game and go back where I left off. Nope, can't do that. I have to have Windows phone. So if I want to play those games again, you go back to where I started. Me not go back to my previous. I probably gonna have no data, but like at least all the achievements for it. I think it turns out the Angry Birds stuff is gone, but basically I'll have achievements for those, and if I want to play them again, I have to go to my Windows. I have to get a Windows 10 phone or whatever you call it on third-party eBay. I know it's a stupid idea, but blame Microsoft for not porting their games over to because the thing with the games like on the Windows phone is that they ported most of them to the Windows 10, but the problem is that they don't have all of them. So like you can't get all the Angry Birds games for free. I'm not kidding. They had all 6 of them for free on the Windows phone. That is a good deal.
That's actually pretty awesome.
I know, like Angry Birds 1, Angry Birds Seasons, Rio, Space, Star Wars 2, the girl one. I don't even know what they're calling that.
The girl one?
I think it's Angry Birds Stella is the girl one. Like the one meant for girl gamers who like Angry Birds. There's Piggies, which is the, anime protective. And I had all 6 of them for free, and it didn't work out. So that's why I had a Windows phone, because not just because I was recording videos on my phone, but also because of that. And eventually I'm gonna get a graphics card, so I'll need to record my whatever I have to use because the two series that I have to record only with my Windows phone. Sorry, my Android. I keep saying that. Android is my Coastal Deluxe series, which is my Coastal series where I do off rides, and then this series, my Battle of Middle-earth series. I just feel like the quality isn't very good with that kind of stuff. But I don't know. Like I feel like it's not as bad because I remember having because I have my behind the scenes series and I didn't even have commentary on that. I think my very first video on my channel didn't have any commentary. You know how boring that is to watch? That must be really boring for you guys to watch a video where I don't even talk. I was probably nervous.
Depends on the type.
I was probably very nervous about that, but yeah, I don't know. Vid editing is very, very, very interesting subject because there's a lot, compared to movies or whatever, you can do a whole lot more with YouTube videos. It depends on the video. A lot of people do different content. They have music videos, they have, TV shows, they have podcasts, they have animations, any kind of thing like that. I have one animation on my entire channel, and that's the Doctor Who one. And it was stop motion.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's Doctor Who or whatever. It was stop motion video, and it was that. So.
What about the Dobby or the whatever?
Oh yeah, that one.
The lightsaber one.
That was just a thing I got my brother to help me with, and probably Movie Maker actually. It It probably was Movie Maker or something like that. I don't know what it was. I can't remember, but still, that's all we can say about video editing. I feel like it's an important subject because a lot of people are. I'm doing it now a lot, and because like a lot of the stuff I have to do is use with Sony Vegas, and it just takes forever to render a video, just forever.
Right.
It's the price you pay with high quality video editing software.
That's true. That's very true. But like I feel like I could do a lot more. Like I tried to do a Doctor Who regeneration effect. It didn't work at all. I didn't know how to use After Effects. I couldn't get the After Effect. I said I don't know how to do that. I just can't do it. I just can't do it.
It's a very, very complicated software. It's kind of
I've tried to do it. It's pretty terrible. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's fun to do video editing because like when you're recording your video, you're making a fool of yourself, which like, and I commit an explosion, and then you just wave your hand, nothing happens, and then you get to edit that in. Like I feel like that's the fun part of video editing is that you can when you do silly shit in your videos that you know is not gonna appear in your video right now. But you can then edit it later. It's way better, so much better. I remember having this podcast where I would actually insert clips from things. You might not have seen this, but I did a few podcasts where I actually inserted clips from like various things. Like I think where we had a video game podcast about video games that suck, like in general, like literally they're broken. I inserted footage from a game that was literally broken. So. You know, that's just the part about YouTube that is crazy. Also, one thing I really struggle with is thumbnailing. I'm having a lot of trouble with that, and this kind of goes to the YouTube part of things. I've been trying to get my thumbnails to work, and they just haven't been working at all. Like my recent reviewed episode, the borders like still there. Like how I do my review show is, or any kind of thumbnail is, I'll take I go to my video, I take a moment from my video that I liked, and then I screenshot it. Put it in Paint. I know I'm using Paint, but it's what I really currently use right now. It's stupid, I know, but don't blame me. It's just what I use. But I use Paint, and then I go in. I cut out a little bit of the frame because I don't need a whole bunch of background in there. I then open it in the Movie Maker because weirdly enough, I can't edit my thumbnails with Paint down there. Like I can't add like outline to it. I can't just automatically do it. It's really stupid.
Yeah, you can.
Like outlining a font to make it like stand out. I can't do that with Paint, so I have to use.
But you want to outline text.
Like let's say it's the number 50. I want to put like black outline around that, but I can only do that in Movie Maker.
You can do that. It takes a little bit of work, but you can do that.
I'm not Paint.
It
takes too long to do in Paint. That's why I struggle with it. But yeah, and then I have to then save it, you know, and then like screenshot it or snapshot it in this case, and then put the number in there. And here's the thing about my last week's episode, or sorry, this week's episode, but I feel like last week because it's the end of the week, is that it showed up with a black border, which is super weird, and I don't know what that is about, but it just happened, and I managed to fix it, I guess, but I don't know. I feel like you don't really notice stuff like that. I think the one mistake I had in a video was where I had a reaction video and the video played before I actually was reacting to it. I'm not even kidding. Like I had a video where I reacted to a YTP and I forgot to fix it. Like the video started before I even began reacting to it. It was so humiliating. Like I'm sorry guys. So that was embarrassing for me. I didn't really like that at all. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's not the end of the world.
Not really, I guess. I don't know. I didn't want it to happen. It was humiliating. I'm like, oh god, that's not good. Or the wrong video would be uploaded. I'm like, oh wait, shit, this is not what I wanted. Or whatever. It's just awful. But I think that's all I can say about video editing. I don't really have anything else I can say about that. I just thought it'd be a really fun topic because, again, this is not going to be a one-topic thing. I just wanted to bring it up because I think it's something that you guys should all know about, how very much different from movie making, because when you're making a movie and you're editing it, it's way different because you can do a whole lot more stuff. But with this kind of thing, it's a different story. So, yeah. So
isn't there like a saying in the movie industry that the third version of the film is made in editing or whatever?
I don't really know. I mean, I know editing takes a long time for like. I know that editing with YouTube videos takes way less time, takes only a few hours. Whereas a with a movie, can take over a year. Like, I remember watching a Markiplier video where he pointed out that one thumbnail for one video took about 6 hours to make. No joke.
Really?
Not even kidding.
Why?
A thumbnail, meaning the image you see on when you click a video, took 6 hours to make for one video.
Did it take 6?
6 hours. That's half of half a day. That's insane. Like it takes me about like maybe 5-10 minutes to make a thumbnail, but it doesn't take me 6 hours to make a fucking thumbnail. That's ridiculous. You know, I don't take that long to make thumbnails on my channel. It doesn't take me that long. But still, it just goes to show that YouTube video editing is way different from movie video editing because way less time. You spend only a few hours editing a video. Compared to a movie where it takes you over a year because of the effects and stuff. So, you know, I don't know if you guys see the movies where you actually see the cuts. Do you see the cuts? Because I know I see the cuts in movies a lot. I know where it's cut. I know where the movie cuts.
No.
I remember seeing a documentary where it was like a video thing where they, and I haven't seen this movie, but I've heard of it a lot. I've heard a lot about it because I know of it, and that's Terminator 2, and they try to like. They're trying to like trim down the runtime, so they made the frame rate a little less what it was, and it was awful. That's the thing about frame rate. It's like you want to make a movie shorter, but you realize if you do that, your frame is gonna suck. So they had to like stop it. So yeah, that's really all I can say. I want to talk about YouTube stuff for a while. I mean, I know we had a YouTube podcast about this whole thing, but I kind of wanted to talk about it because it's been on my mind for a long time, and I'm kind of annoyed because it's like this whole YouTube change has been really bugging me. And that's because YouTube is a big thing now. They've been around for more than 10 years now, and a big thing that's like that people are thinking, oh, is YouTube gonna go away, or you know, like the change they made, like you have to have, I think it's like 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of content watched. In order to activate the community page, you have to have 10,000 subscribers, which I think is ridiculous. So,
that does seem a little bit crazy.
Like if I wanted to ask my fans, hey, do you guys want more? Like, do you think I should do this series once or twice a week? Do you think you want more of this show? Do you want this? That's like a poll, like a poll, like a thing you can vote on. I think so. Like, I want to do that, but I can't do that because YouTube is a thing where you have to have a certain number of subscribers. It's just ridiculous. So I mean, you couldn't communicate with your friends unless you use discussion or you just reply to their comments. It's ridiculous. It's like
kind of crazy.
Like I remember when I was my power went out one night and I couldn't really edit my video or anything like that. So I had to like post on my discussion page that I couldn't do anything about it, and I really wish I had like that many subscribers that I could like tell my fans, hey, sorry, no video tonight. My power went out. It's like
Twitter. Guess what? You have Twitter now. So,
well, I didn't have Twitter when
Twitter.
I didn't have Twitter then. Plus, I don't think any of my subscribers and any of my 239 subscribers actually follow me.
You gotta advertise your Twitter.
I do advertise my videos. Like, I advertise almost all my videos on Twitter because it's like we're interesting enough, like, I don't have all 239 people subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my Twitter. I don't have that. Or in this case,
following your Twitter.
Following my on Twitter, yeah. But I don't have that. But, like, it's just ridiculous because, like, I have this channel that I make content for every day, and I could go as far as to do the discussion page, but I can't do anything more than that, which I think is ridiculous. So, like, I can do discussions, that's about it. I feel like they're really not good. And also people are thinking that YouTube is gonna end, but here's the thing: YouTube can't end because a lot of people, YouTube is their job. So if YouTube would to be ending, that would mean that they lose their jobs, right? That they couldn't do that.
Well, that happens with other types of jobs all the time. So.
That's true, but like, imagine your job is to make YouTube videos for a living, and then YouTube says, oh yeah, we're gonna end our company. Our company is gonna end forever. That means you just lost your job. That means the videos you've been making for years and years and years are gone, and YouTube decided to just end. I don't think YouTube's gonna end.
Well, even if YouTube ever were to quote unquote end, they probably wouldn't just flat out delete everything. They probably just do what Microsoft did with Vine, or I think Microsoft owns Twitter now, right? And Twitter owns Vine. So what they did with Vine which was they phased it out. They stopped updating it, but it's still there.
Yeah, or they get bought by something like YouTube bought Google. That's why when I have my email, my username, my Ultimate 553 channel is automatically like there. It's like advertised like, oh, celebratory153gmail.com, Ultimate 553. It's like, who is this guy? Sorry, my YouTube channel is linked to my Gmail. I can't fix it. It's always awkward. It's like when I'm communicating with someone and my channel name shows up, I can't fix that. That's the downside of having YouTube connected to like Gmail, having them bought Google, is because now that I have a YouTube channel and I have a Gmail account, now I have them linked, so it feels like that's who I am. It's like I'm not Tom. I'm just a person on YouTube. It's weird. It's kind of like, I feel like what I'm trying to say is I really wish a lot of companies didn't buy companies. Didn't buy a lot of companies. Like,
yeah.
You know how Disney owns everything. What if they didn't? What if they only owned like Pixar?
Right.
That would be much more, useful if certain companies didn't own certain companies. It would make life a whole lot easier. Like, I remember when the days when, because I remember if you remember Club Penguin, but Disney bought Club Penguin.
Yeah.
In LA, don't have Club Penguin. It just doesn't exist anymore. So like I used to play. I remember playing that game before Disney ever bought it, and it was awesome. It was my favorite game, and they bought it, and it just, they didn't ruin it. They just made it a little different, And actually, funny story about that game. I actually had someone who was flirting with me when I was playing the game. It was I think the username was Kate78, and they were flirting with me online. It was just some random username, and I think they were a girl user, and they were flirting with me. I'm not kidding. Club Penguin. Imagine a penguin just talking to you very, very, I don't know, weirdly. It was such a weird experience. I was at the pizza place, part of the map, and I loved the game. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun. I think I remember even doing the ninja thing. I got like all three. I think I got all three like dojo thingies. Remember the dojos in Club Penguin?
Never played it.
I didn't really play it a lot.
Well, I remember most of it, and that's just an example of a company buying another company. But I feel like with YouTube, there's just so much content, and the other problem with YouTube is the fact that like the more you subscribe to channels, the more they'll tell you to subscribe to turn on the notification bell, and so you'll be notified of every new upload. That's impossible. You can't physically watch every single YouTube video on the planet. There's not enough hours in the day to watch every single video on YouTube. Or from every channel you subscribe to. If you have like 100 more, like I have 105 channels I'm subscribed to, I don't watch all their content because I'm so behind, but they keep telling you, so turn on the notification bell so you can notify when uploads are available. I can't do that. I don't have the time. I just don't have the time, okay? It's like impossible. So I feel like that's the downside to having to YouTube being a thing, is that with the whole, notification system, is that it's really annoying. Because it's like every time, like, I think YouTube is like, I think it's like, what, 1,000 videos are uploaded per minute on YouTube, or...
It's something like that.
It's
something
insane.
Crazy, some like outlandishly huge number.
But I just feel like it's really hard to keep up with YouTube. Especially, I mean, even with some of the channels I watch where they don't make content, like they make content, but not everything I like. Like certain channels, like I have a few channels that I watch, but only for Five Nights at Freddy's content, and they don't always make Five Nights at Freddy's content, so I just don't watch them until they make a new episode. Literally, there are channels where I'm so selfish because I only watch their channel for the FNAF content, and that's it. So they don't make content if they don't make Five Nights at Freddy's content for a month, that's just the way it is. Because my interests are only to a certain amount. So
telling them what you want to watch. So I mean, they'll post videos based off of.
I mean, it doesn't happen all the time. Like if it's Markiplier or Jacksepticeye, I'll watch videos that aren't FNAF related. Like I think what I'm trying to say is certain channels that their content is the sole purpose of their content is this, and they have this on the sideline, but I don't watch that sideline thing. I watch just the main thing. So like, if it's an animations thing on a Five Nights at Freddy's thing, I'll just watch that. Or if it's a channel that plays Five Nights at Freddy's content a lot, I'm only gonna watch that. So I feel like with the notification system, it's just really, really inconvenient to have that. It's useful, but it's just super annoying, if you get me. It's just, I don't know. It's annoying. I don't know if you. I know neither of you really use YouTube a lot, but just imagine having a subscription service that bugs the hell out of you, like, hey, Zoe or whatever, new thing coming out, watch it. Like, I don't have time. It's like 2 hours or something. You know,
it
it's like.
It doesn't even affect me. Like, I don't check emails or anything. So email notifications don't affect.
I remember when I used to, because there's a channel called Emergency Austin that I follow a lot of. They do a lot of nerd stuff, and literally I would have them in my email. I had to turn my email off because it was just so distracting. And it would literally, it would say, it would, I think a notification would pop up saying Emergency Austin, just a little bit of video, and then my email would say, hey, Emergency Austin, just a little bit of it. Like, stop! I get it. He uploaded a video. I get it. You don't have to keep telling me. It's like, I get it. Like, how annoying is that? Like, they need to tell you twice that a YouTuber just uploaded a video that you're following. It's like, come on. It's super annoying. But that's all I can say about that. Nothing else I can really say. I did want to point out one thing about YouTube that I want to finish up with, and that is the About section. And this is something that's driving me crazy because a certain amount of characters, whether it be a YouTube video itself, I feel like the description is like unlimited or something like that. But video titles or this, about sections, you only have a certain amount of characters. That's what bugs me the hell out of YouTube, is that they only give you a certain amount of characters. So like with a YouTube video, you only get a certain amount of characters. Like you'll upload a video, it'll say video title is too long. It's ridiculous. It's like, come on, it's not fair. I hate it so much, and they always do it. So, do you have any comments about that, or do you think that when you're naming something and it limits you, I guess like with characters, limiting on you on characters, does that annoy you? Like, it doesn't matter if it's YouTube or anything, it just like anything you type up, like any kind of, if you're typing a post something, you only get a certain amount of characters. Does that annoy you?
Yeah, I would agree. That's kind of frustrating.
Yeah, so I hate it when I have a video I upload and it's only a certain amount of characters. I just hate it so much. But that's all I can say about that. So yeah, if that's all you guys want to talk about for that, shall I move on to the next topic? Alright, so I wanted to discuss something that is coming up very shortly, and that is the 100th episode of the Madhouse. It's coming up in 2 weeks, so if we don't skip weeks, sometimes we have to skip weeks because not every member of the Madhouse is able to make it every week, so we have to like say, okay, this is
right.
I have literally no one I can do a podcast with, so we're gonna have to skip it. Sometimes it's just the way it is. But we are approaching the 100th episode of the Madhouse. It's happening. I don't know, I actually believe it. Like, I can't believe we're almost 100 episodes.
Been this for a while.
A lot of time, it's like we're at 98 now. It's like we're almost to episode 100. I don't know how to even fathom this. I don't know. Like I don't know. We should. I feel like we should discuss what we should do for this milestone. Just any ideas you have. Like I put together a little intro for the Madhouse. Like the best moments, because I can't physically go back through all the last technically 99 episodes because there's a special we did with me, Big Dinner Guy, and Zach, and it was called the Talk About Shit Madhouse special, and it was literally just a special episode. So technically there's only 99 episodes, but 98 of those are just numbered. So,
right.
I don't know. Like, I feel like we should do something special for the podcast because we've come this far. I don't know what episode you were in. I don't know what your debut episode was. Was it? I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I have to go back and look and see what your episode was. But I've made a intro that has like all the best moments of the podcast from like all the episodes, like all the intros. Some of them I never actually remember where they were, but like most of them were just for the intros. So I don't know. Like, I feel like we should do something special for the 100th episode because it's a big deal. You think so?
What date is that?
Oh, the day is that? That's 21st. So not next week, but then a week after that. So that's literally in 2 weeks.
I'm actually out of town that week.
Oh no! Oh no!
Hmm.
Oh no! That isn't good. Oh no! You're gonna miss out on the big thing. Oh no! I hate when that happens.
Dang it.
Well, you're not alone because remember you didn't make the 1 year. Remember, we had the 1 year episode. You missed it.
Yeah, I remember.
You missed that. That means you'll miss 2 big events. God damn it!
Gosh, dang it.
Why do you have to keep doing this to us? It's so unfair.
Life.
Life gets in the way.
Does it? It's life's fault.
So what? I think that's
Well,
2 weeks on the 21st. Where are you going then?
I'm going back to Squim
Hmm.
for a childhood friend's birthday.
Okay.
I haven't seen him in a while, so.
Right. Okay. Because
Hmm.
if unless we somehow skip, you know, next
A
week,
week.
if we somehow aren't able to do the Madhouse on that day, like if something happens between now and then, and we just none of the members are able to. I don't like skipping, but sometimes we have to just say, okay, we're gonna have to like not do it this week because of the people who aren't able to do it. Like if no one in my friend group can make it, that we have to just miss a week.
Right.
But I don't like doing that, and I've had to miss. Like
Right.
I remember when I was moving from my previous apartment to this apartment, I was like 3 weeks where we didn't have a podcast, and I couldn't. I mean, I had my review show, but that was about it. I didn't have any other content that I can make really, and that was literally it. So I had like 3 whole weeks where we missed episodes. It was like a long time, and I had no control over it, which is the fact that I was moving, and I couldn't really record an episode during the move. It would just be impossible, so we had to skip 3 weeks. So it was a long time to miss an episode, but it was like that thing. So,
Right.
if we don't skip any weeks, it would be that day. So, yeah, that's something we gotta figure out about, like, how to make sure we can get as many members as possible. I mean, if we if we end up happening where we do end up missing a week on 20, we would do end up like not doing it on the 21st, then probably have to skip. We could probably do the 28th, but it all depends on how things are going to go, because we might end up missing a week, and that's not fun. So
Right.
I just feel like this is a really big deal for us because like I invented this show, and like I didn't even think it would get past 50 episodes. So
Right.
I don't know. Like
I'm definitely excited for it. I'm just. Yeah, I'm a bit.
It might not.
Sorry.
You may or not be in it, depending on if we skip it or not. We might skip, but I don't like want to say, oh, we're gonna skip that week because Lucas can't make it. That doesn't seem fair.
It's not gonna be possible to get everyone there for 1 week.
Yeah, like for the
No.
1 year anniversary, we didn't have all the original members. Like the original cast was Big Dino Guy, Steve Kovac, Zach, Fanfiction SG, and then Alex, whatever you call it, the Wattpad Alex or whatever. I can't remember. Kenshi Alex, that was her name. And we had all those originals, and some of them left, but like we've kind of come this far, and I feel like we should just celebrate, because for the 1 year anniversary we had almost all the original members, except you because you were not available that week, and that's just okay. But I just feel like we should do something special because we've come this far, and I don't know. I feel like some shows that I would watch where they would like literally announce that they were gonna do something special for their big 100th or whatever. It would be like 2 weeks from the release of that. So I feel like we should do some kind of special thing, because like I know we usually have a topic, but I feel like we should have some kind of special thing we do. Whether or not you can make it, I would like ideas to have to figure out this.
Maybe it could be like favorite moments on the podcast kind of thing.
Yeah.
Favorite episodes.
I mean, I know a lot of members, like my friend Jessica, my friend Trey, they both are not members anymore. I made a video about them picking a hiatus, but that hiatus can literally mean they're probably not going to come back, or whatever. So that kind of thing. But like, I was able to find a lot of the best moments from the podcast, and it's going to be the part of the special intro. But I feel like, I don't know, like, because the podcast has been like the hour thing we've had, but like maybe we should have a special where it's like very, very long, like 2 hours or something like that. Some special episode. But the
discussion to last 2 hours.
But the problem was with making podcasts that are uber long is that a lot of people can't do it for that long. That they can't really sit in that long, because like Big Dino Guy, he lives in Kansas. I said Texas because Jessica lives in Texas, but he lives in Kansas, and that's like 2 hours away. That's a 2 hour difference. So it's like that would be, if we started the regular time of 7 o'clock, around 7 o'clock, that means it would be 9 o'clock where he is. So So if you do a 2-hour podcast, that means you'd be like 11 o'clock when we finish or like that. So yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like we should figure out obviously some kind of long discussion. Maybe we could do a 2-hour podcast, or maybe not. I don't know. What do you think, Chakky, about what we should do for the big 100th episode?
I don't know, maybe like reflect and be nostalgic.
Reflect on the past million episodes.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I'm a guy like with the podcast. I'm a guy who likes to have numbers, so like that's why I number the podcast, because if we don't number this podcast, we have no idea what how many we've done. Like it's just impossible. So it's like if we don't number the show, we don't even know where we are in the show. We don't know if where someone entered it. It was like, oh, remember during episode blank we're talking about this. Let's talk about it again, kind of thing. I mean, originally I was gonna call it the Madhouse number, but I decided episode would be better, because how many podcasts did they say number? Seriously, instead of episode. Not a whole lot.
I don't know.
I like episode. Episode is used a lot more than number for numbering it, but I don't know. I definitely feel like we should think about the suggestions about what we should do, because this is a big deal. It's literally in 2 weeks. It might be more, depending on again, if we have scheduling conflicts, we can't do it next week, or we can't do it 21st, because things happen like that. So I don't know. I'm open to suggestions, you guys. If you have anything else you can think about for what we should do, because this is a freaking big deal. I have asked Kaylee to do a new logo, like maybe not a brand new logo, but like maybe a slightly change it, like maybe the number a little different. I've thought about making a new theme song, but maybe that, I don't know, because you designed you made the theme song. You think we need to change it, Chakky?
I don't really know.
I mean, it's a pretty cool theme song, but I don't know. We've used it for like 40 episodes or something like that. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but like, why does it need to change?
Because it's 100 episodes, and people get tired of the same thing. Imagine listening to the same song for every. You're watching a show, the same theme song for every episode in a podcast, whatever. I mean, it's typical for a show, like an actual TV show, but like for a podcast.
You come to a podcast for the content.
That's true.
Oh, that's right. That's very true. Yeah, but I don't know. I definitely feel like the logo should change. Maybe just a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe not even just change. Maybe you just change the. I suggested maybe because we change the logo every milestone. Maybe we should just change the number. Maybe the number should be, the episode and the number should be maybe a little different. I think we should change the way the picture's laid out, because the way I've been doing it for the Madhouse is I would have the Madhouse logo right here. I have the pictures of the different members, like me, my icon, your icon. I used to actually I went back and I found out that I actually put your real name on the card instead of Chakky. And I fixed it, but it was like, oops, I probably should have changed that, and it's too late. I just put your first name. I didn't do anything else. And then of course Lucas is his. Remember that? That's your old picture.
Yep.
It's like you're. That's like those most crazy faces you made. Like. Where did you even take that thing?
I don't remember.
You don't even know where
it was right after.
You were like, were you surprised about it? Like, oh my god.
No, I was just goofing around. I remember that.
But it just, I decided that picture was good enough, and I put because you don't have a username, do your name on there. But it's the best picture of you because it makes you look like you're crazy. It's like literally looks like you're like, I mean, maybe not insane, but like crazy. But and then I also have everyone else has just around the logo, and then it transitions. But I feel like I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't. Do you think I should change the cast photos? I think I should, because I used to have it where the cast photo would be on, it would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, and that would be like around the thing. And then originally I had the logo was like a red house with a microphone for a nose and swirly eyes and like little things on my little mouth. It was literally, I used a microphone. I drew a microphone as a nose. I did not know what I was doing. I'm like, what should I do for the nose? It's a podcast, let's put a microphone there. So I did that. And then of course I think Chakky here actually made a new one. she upgraded it so it wasn't so weird. It wasn't so bad. Like literally, that's the worst design ever. I can't design things, okay? I will admit it. I don't design things. That's why I leave my friends to do it, because they do it better than me.
Visual
So,
design is hard.
what was that?
Visual design is hard.
It is this. It is
Yes,
very
it
hard.
is.
I can't even do it. I had to ask people to do my own logo for me because I couldn't do it myself. It's just it's impossible. Like I remember having to do the logo for I think it was episode 69. I can't remember one of the episodes. I had to do it myself. It was stupid, but that was the only way I could do it. So yeah, I feel like we should think about more ways to celebrate this occasion because it's a pretty big deal. Because it's like, I mean, like a lot of podcasts do. I remember watching the Rooster Teeth podcast. It was their 100th episode, and it was like half-hour long, and that was a video podcast. And no, I don't think we should do video podcasts. You know why? Because a lot of people like Chakky hate having their face on video. Plus, it really wouldn't make sense because how would we do it? Because the podcast.
Just wear a mask the whole time.
Yeah, the podcast has always been a audio thing, and because it's always been like a thing we have where we use a video call thing, and sometimes I make it not appear so, but we always we actually I don't even think we do meetups anymore. We used to have meetups for the podcast. Now that's how we did it, but now we don't even do that. We just do it over a video call, and that's the way we do it. So I felt like if we were to do a video podcast, it would literally be impossible, because like it wasn't until a few months ago that Chakky actually got a webcam, so it really wouldn't make sense. So I don't. Do you think we should just remain an audio podcast? Will that make sense?
Yeah, probably.
So, yeah.
Because it really wouldn't.
I mean,
it wouldn't do it for us to have a video podcast occasionally. I just don't think it would really work. You know.
right.
Like it doesn't. The format doesn't really work at all. Because like a lot of people, they don't either they don't want their face on, or their video is really hard. Like I remember there was an episode of the Madhouse where Steve Kovac's face froze, and it was terrifying.
And that's what the freaking logo for the picture for the group chat was for the longest time.
A while, yeah, it was terrifying. Because a lot of our webcams freeze a lot because of just the quality. Yeah. Not everyone's webcam is good, so our webcams will sometimes freeze, and it'll freeze on the most terrifying picture ever, like his face. It just was it was creepy. But yeah, I definitely think we shouldn't do video podcasts like ever, like period.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't make sense for us mainly because a lot of us are out of state, and doing this podcast over video chat, it works a whole lot better because we can talk to other, and thanks to video chat we can actually do podcasts. I don't really think it would be good to have a video podcast because that means everyone has to meet. So I feel like it's a benefit to have video service, to have kind of like that kind of thing, because I don't know, do you think that having video call has been useful for you for this podcast? Yeah. I think it has been. It's been somewhat useful to have that because a lot of us, because not all of us, I think originally most of us were in state, and then suddenly people started moving out, and it's like, how are we gonna do the podcast? Well, well, I think it was episode 3 we started using Skype. And it's like, let's try recording the podcast another way. You know what we could do? We could do it online. Like we could go online. We could use Skype or the Google Hangout service, and we could just launch a call, and then the audio could feed through, and I could do a podcast that way. And the people who are in different states, they could video call from here. It's just way easier. So a lot of people do that. Like a lot of audio podcasts do that. It's pretty obvious what you can tell it's an audio podcast. It's a audio podcast using a video call, because if you think about it, it really wouldn't make sense for this podcast to ever be a video podcast. I mean, how else are you supposed to know their faces? You don't have to. Plus, we introduce ourselves every episode. Why? Because not everyone knows who we are. And weirdly enough, when I was going back to the podcast, there are episodes where I didn't even introduce ourselves. I didn't even bother saying hello. I didn't say who we have this week. I just launched and I'm like, I'm me. Okay, let's go. I literally was like, what am I doing? I gotta introduce people here. And I completely ignored everyone. I'm like, Okay, this is the episode. Okay, let's go. I didn't even, like, Steven was there, Chakky was there. I didn't even do any introductions at all. It was just me. It's like, what is wrong with me? Why would I do that? I'm just
Everybody makes mistakes.
I feel bad about the fact that going back to those podcasts, I actually realized that I didn't introduce myself. I didn't introduce everyone. Like, I remember for the 1 year anniversary, I didn't even say my name. I just said I'm the host. I'm just the host. Not anyone. I'm just not anyone special. Just the host. I don't know why, but I didn't even. I guess I was afraid or something. I was like, I should say my name. Who am I? I'm not just the host. But that was something I just found was like humiliating to listen back to. But there are episodes where it's just awful to listen to. Like I remember episode 10, awful, because my recorder died about 20 minutes in. I had to quickly, within seconds, switch to Audacity, and it barely saved it. And even then, it was really hard to hear. So that was the worst episode we've ever recorded, episode 10. It was awful. But yeah, any more ideas for the 100th episode? Because I think it's a pretty big deal. I mean, seriously.
I do not know.
This is not history, but it's definitely something that I would never would have thought we've gotten to. So I feel like because for the 1 year anniversary. Well, you weren't there, Lucas, but for the 1 year anniversary, we talked about for like I don't know, it was like 14 minutes about just the history of the podcast. We had like another topic, so I feel like what should the topic be? Should we just talk about the history of it, like how it was invented, kind of stuff like that? You know, why we decided to do it, that kind of thing.
Yeah, then maybe we can also talk about like why each of us decided to join in.
Well, we did that before, but you weren't in there, so it didn't really have the full effect, I guess.
Right.
But I guess we could like because a lot of times that when people were saying why they joined, they're like, I don't know, I joined because he joined. I remember Chakky saying, I think it was something like, I joined because he joined. It's like, that isn't a very good answer. So I feel like this time, if we do that, we should do it better. We should actually explain in detail why we decided to join, because I'm not saying it was a bad answer, I just didn't think it was a very good answer, you know? You didn't really answer the question very effectively.
But it was a bad answer.
it's like
Oh, shut it.
not a bad. It wasn't a good answer. Just didn't completely answer the question. It's like I joined because, well, he joined. It's like, okay, you joined because you didn't have any reason to. It's like, okay. So I think that this time, if we were to do that, if we were to have a reason for being in the podcast in general, we should actually explain a reasoning. And Lucas, not to say your reason wasn't good, but just to say that I joined because I was bored on Friday on Saturday nights is not the best thing to. I don't know. Does that seem like the best answer you could have come up with?
Was that the answer I gave? I thought it was something like I just wanted to hang out, or I don't know.
Well, like I think that we should all like not me, because obviously I had no reason, but like everyone else should. When we do this, when we do the big episode, we should, not me, everyone else just discuss why they joined, or why they particularly joined. Like, hopefully we can get you in hopefully we can make it work. I don't know, we might have to like say we don't know this week, but, hopefully we can. I don't want to do a episode 99.5, that would be weird. That would be so weird if we did that. It's like, oh, welcome to the Madhouse, episode 99.5.
You have to do 99 3/4.
99 3/4.
Episode 99.99. Episode 99.156 or something. I don't know. I don't think we should do points, because that wouldn't make sense. Not like, oh, we're gonna do a 0.5 because Lucas can't make it this week.
You guys do like another Harry Potter episode, 99 3/4.
Well, we eventually, I do think we'll do like more arcs, because I did mention in the chat, in the text chat, that we'll do more arcs later, because we actually make it past 100 episodes, since if we do, I'm counting on it. I think we'll probably make it past that, but I feel like we should definitely do what you suggested, but, I don't know, anything else that you think that would like a big thing we should all discuss, because like, I remember for the 1 year podcast, we discussed the history of it, and then we had an actual topic. Do you think we should just focus on one topic, being
I
the
think we should
madhouse
probably
itself?
have an actual topic as well.
You think we should have like a topic we focus on, not just one topic? Because I don't want to talk about one thing for like 14 minutes and that's it. Because I feel like the talking about the madhouse for 14 minutes was like I checked that was the time step. But I just feel like we should do more.
Yeah, no, I agree. We should have like an actual topic.
Because I remember when we did the 1 year. You weren't there, but I do remember when we did it. I was talking about the madhouse, and we were pretty much at the. We didn't really have anything else we could talk about on that subject. And then Bianca was like, "Do you have an actual topic?" I'm like, oh, and I had thought of a topic that was the Star Wars thing. But if we don't, I think even though it's a special episode, I feel like we should have something, have something to talk about besides just the madhouse. Just besides, it's the 100th episode of the madhouse.
I agree with that.
Some people, when they have a podcast that reaches that milestone, they just like, oh yeah, episode 100, yay. Okay, what's up? That's like literally they'll be like, it'll be 5 seconds, like, okay, well, episode 100, yay, light up a firework, yay. Okay, what we're talking about? Really quick thing. Like I don't know. Like I remember watching The Patch. I don't know if you watched that, but it was a podcast by Rooster Teeth. They made Ruby and all that stuff. They had an episode of their podcast. The Patch was their gaming podcast. And literally I was watching the episode 100, and literally all they did was light off a, those like those little party favors you like go pops into like this confetti. So they did that, and that was it. Like, yay, we did episode 100, yay, puff. Okay, let's talk about games. That was literally it. Imagine that. Imagine it's like, oh, by the way, episode 100, yay. Okay, what are we talking about? I don't think we should do that. I think we should actually have a reason to be there. Like, what are you reason for being there? Oh, I don't know why. It's like, yeah, that's all I can say about that. We are very close to end episodes. It'll be in 2 weeks. If we don't skip any weeks. If we do skip weeks, it might be 28th, but I want to try to include Lucas, so we might have to skip a week just for Lucas. I don't know.
Well, I don't feel like we're not going to be able to get everyone in 1 week. So, like, if we start trying, like, we'll put off this episode for so-and-so, it'll just get put off forever.
It's like,
So, I mean,
he can't make it. Let's just skip a week. It's like, but, yeah, we can't make it. Let's just skip a week. That's ridiculous. We can't just skip a week because some person is not available. That's ridiculous. Right. I feel like we should actually try to. I mean, I want to have you in there, but if we can't, then it's not gonna always works out. I just want as many members as I can in the episode because it's a pretty freaking big deal. And I didn't even think I could make it this far alone as a host. I didn't even think I could do it without you guys. Like, literally, this podcast wouldn't be achieved without you guys. Seriously, no kidding. It's a no joke. You guys are without you here. This podcast wouldn't really exist. Not even kidding. It's that emotional. So yeah. Anything else you guys would like to talk about on that note? On that particular subject? Or do you think we've covered what we should do? Because I have one more topic.
Let's get that topic.
Okay, so if we're all good with if we think we have enough to discuss about what we should do for the 100th episode, the next topic that I just thought of was movie sequels that they come out years after the previous one, but with like a recast roles. Not all of them recast, but some of them are recast. Like for example, My Problems Return. We talked about that on our 2017 movies, and it's a movie that came out years later, and it has it's a total recast. Or some movies that just Mary Poppins Returns, because I feel like with some people where they have a movie and it's like, oh, another one, really? That I feel like people are getting tired of sequels. For the first time, I'm actually discussing this. Like,
what annoys me isn't so much sequel, but when a movie wraps up and has like a conclusive ending, and there's no need for a sequel, and it feels like they just pump one out for the sake of making money.
Yeah, like I remember. I think it was the Disney page or something like that. They said Toy Story 4 coming out. I think it was June 12th, 2019. So I don't know. I think like that. Someone didn't do next year, and it's like, really, another Toy Story?
Right.
Like Toy Story 3 ended the wrapped the bow on that trilogy perfectly. It's like we don't need another one. Like I don't know me, but I love that series. It's like I don't mind if it's a quadrilogy instead of a trilogy.
Another one.
Yeah, it's like, or Despicable Me like that, like, another one, Pirates of the Caribbean, another one, Pacific Rim, another one, like...
Pirates of the Caribbean movies now.
We have five. It's like, I don't hate them. I love them, actually. They're my favorites ever to watch. I've only seen the fifth one once, but I'm just getting tired of people criticizing movies like, oh, a sequel. Why do we need another one? Just to make money. They just pass on. It's like, no. Why? You don't like sequels? It's like, I don't get, like, I guess people have problem with sequels now. They all want original content. Like, I actually was looking on I think it was the Pixar Wikipedia, and then it said I think Incredibles 2 and Toy Story 4 are going to be the last sequels they're going to be producing for a while. The rest of them are going to original movies, like, so we have Incredibles 2 coming up, and then Toy Story 4 next year. That'll be the last movies that they have coming out that are sequels. After that, at least for a while, they don't have plans for now, but for a while, they're going to be just working on original ideas for the movies. So I feel like people like that more often.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, whether it be a remake, a reboot, or anything, I feel like sequels are important to have because they tell the next chapter, especially if it ends on a cliffhanger. It'll tell the next chapter of that story.
Well, then yes, of course, I want sequels. If it's just, you know, they realize the first movie was successful, and they get a whole bunch of people who don't care about the movie, like making a sequel together to make a sequel.
Yeah, I just feel like the trilogy, like Shrek, like I think I saw on the news that Cameron Diaz was retiring from acting, literally, and so it's like, what does this mean for Shrek 5? Well, probably not getting Shrek 5 then. It's like that movie is just not gonna happen. They're planning it, but like they're gonna have to recast Jonah because they can't. If Cameron Diaz is retiring from acting, they can't make a Shrek 5. That's the problem with movies, is they have to, when they recast roles, it's really hard to, like, kind of with you know, with Harry Potter or with I want to say Star Wars. I don't know if it's Star Wars, but you know, a big example is Harry Potter. They recast a lot of those actors. Not all of them. Not doing a recast role is not always the best idea. Just think about it. It's not always the best idea. Like, I remember watching Nim's Island, and they recast Nim. Okay, we understand why. She's older now. The thing with recasting a role for someone older, it makes sense. But then the other thing is, like, they had the first Nim's Island movie that had Jared Butler in the role, and they recast him with Eddie Izzard, or Matthew Lillard. They have the original names. Matthew Lillard, who played Shaggy in the Sweden movies. They recast him with that actor. Just because, you know, Nim is older now, that doesn't mean they have to recast her father. It's like, come on. So that's just an example of someone recast. Like, I feel like with movie sequels, and when they recast someone, it's really stupid. I mean, you don't always tell, but like sometimes you do, and it's really annoying. It's like I think I mentioned this on the podcast with the Wimpy Kid movie they made, which was awful. I never wanted to watch that at all because the previous ones are good. I met the author and I told him about the movie, and well, he's making more books, but I don't remember exactly what he said about you know, the movie. I think it was god awful. I didn't even bother seeing it. They recast everyone and they made it a sequel, a direct sequel. Right. Why would you do that? Oh, why would you make a movie sequel and make a recast everybody? I don't care if the kids are getting too old. Don't recast. If you're gonna make a sequel, just scrap. Don't make a sequel. Just don't make a sequel at all. If you're making another movie, don't make another movie. It's ridiculous.
Think about making another movie that sucks.
Yeah, no. You're gonna just make a movie that bombs, or you know, reboot a movie, or recasting of, like, I remember when we were Despicable Me 3, they recast the little girl, the youngest sibling. I didn't even notice it. Or Dash from Incredibles 2. Really? I did not even. You can't even tell that it's a different actor. You can't even tell. Or Toy Story 3, or I think it was 3. They had to recast the actor who played Sleeky Dog. You can't even tell it's a different actor. That's okay though. Voice is a different thing. Real life live action, way different story. You can actually tell.
Right.
So I feel like that's really a problem. I mean, people complain about sequels a lot. It isn't just with recasting. Like a movie that comes out years after the previous one, and they recast roles, or just in general movie sequels. People just don't like them. It's like I feel like the generation of movie sequels are like, people are getting tired of them. people are getting tired of sequels.
Sequels are fine, like especially when it's designed to have a sequel.
Or like for example, a movie that is really good, but nothing happens to making a sequel to this, reboot it. Like Green Lantern, they made a movie about Green Lantern. It was awful. I enjoyed it. I kind of liked it a little bit, sort of. It was meh, and it was pretty bad. They are gonna reboot it after one movie. That's the kind of thing that I kind of don't understand. Is why they reboot a movie after one movie.
It wasn't successful, but superheroes are so successful that they want to jump on that bandwagon.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like it's kind of ridiculous when they have like a franchise and they just not doing well. So they just like I'm just gonna bring up a short example. The DC movies, they aren't doing successful. They can just reboot it, but they're not gonna do that. And that's just one example of a franchise that makes bad movies, but they don't care. So it's like making more sequels to movies that already a bomb. It's like, this movie bombed, don't make a sequel. Sorry, too late. It's like, come on, really? You make a movie that bombs and it's gonna make a sequel. You're making a sequel despite it bombing or whatever. It's like, it's ridiculous. But I think all it goes down to is movie sequels that come out like years later. Like Jungle Book, maybe not an example of that. But like, actually, yeah, Jungle Book 2 came out like what 50 years after the first one. It was wait. So let me open my calculator. So the second one came out in 2002. That subtract 1967, which is when the first movie came out. That's 35 years of us being a sequel made. That is a long time. That's what I'm talking about. And it isn't just recasting roles. It's just in general having a sequel take up years and years of production and just never and like take forever to come out. It's like, what the hell? I don't know. I'm just kind of I'm getting annoyed by it, the whole thing, and I feel like when you make a sequel and you recast someone because they die or they just don't want to come back, like for example Iron Man 2, just an example. I'm not going to go into superheroes. I'm just going to briefly give an example of it. There's a character in that movie called Rhodey, and he was played in that movie in the first movie by Terrence Howard. They recast him with Don Cheadle in the second movie because the actor didn't get, he wanted more money, so they had to recast him. That's the kind of thing I made. It's like an actor doesn't want to come back because he wants more money, or the Hulk. I'm giving an example. I'm not going to go into the whole superhero thing. I'm just giving brief examples. Or Edward Norton with the Hulk. He played the Hulk one movie. He wanted more money. They didn't give him more money, so they had to recast him. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Or it's the Avengers wasn't technically a sequel to the Incredible Hulk because it didn't involve Edward Norton, but like I remember it was a panel. It was like a brief video where Robert Downey Jr. who plays Iron Man. He was like reprising his role from the Incredible Hulk, Mark Ruffalo. Everyone was like, what? Because he didn't play the Hulk in the previous movie. It was like reprising his role from the first movie. It was like, wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. Like, how could he reprise his role when he doesn't play the character in the previous movie? It doesn't make any sense. It's like, that's what I'm kind of talking about. Is you have movies where they recast someone because they die or they want more money or whatever.
Recast an actor.
Yeah, like again, Dumbledore is an example of an actor. They had no choice. They had to recast him. You can't do anything with a dead actor. It's just the way it is. Like I think I remember recently that Meryl Streep was in rumors. I think it was an April Fool's joke that she was rumored they were going to recast her to play Leia instead of Carrie Fisher because Carrie Fisher unfortunately passed away. No.
Right.
That would not work at all. That would insult the character of Princess Leia or General Leia, whatever you want to call her. It would insult the character. If you are, because Leia is an example. Any character in any movie, franchise, you decide to recast a iconic character, like for example Indiana Jones. You couldn't do that. You couldn't recast him. I mean, they are talking about potentially doing that after the next movie comes out next year, 2020. You can't recast an iconic role like that. It doesn't matter if the actor died. You can't do that. So, I don't know. I feel like it's really annoying when people like criticize movies because they're making a sequel like Mission Impossible 6. Really, another Mission Impossible? Any kind of movie like that, or like just any franchise where sequels are a thing, people are getting tired of it. I don't know if you noticed that at all, but it's happening a lot more often. People are just saying no. Sometimes not all the time, like Incredibles. That's an example of a movie that everyone wants because it's been like freaking forever. But like a lot of movies are getting criticized like they don't want the more movies. They think that they shouldn't make more movies because it didn't need another movie. You know what I mean? So if you just feel like it's really annoying. But I would like to hear your feedback on this whole matter.
I pretty much agree. Like,
Yeah.
the movie needs a sequel. If it doesn't need a sequel, then why even bother?
Has money.
That's true. Yeah, people are actually saying that in the comments of this Facebook post. It's like they're just in it for money. Maybe, but again, storytelling. I don't know. Do you think that movies with either recast or people just complain that they're making a sequel? Do you think that's a bad thing, or do you think that sequels are good? I in general like sequels, but people can complain about all kinds of shit. It's ridiculous. I've never understood it. It doesn't make any sense to me. People just want to see what they want, and I don't believe them. Like I was listening to a podcast. It was this podcast, it was Nerd podcast, and he was expressing his distaste for a certain show that I liked. Opinion, again. So the people who are saying that sequels shouldn't be made for this particular franchise, again, that's opinion. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to agree with them. Be like, wow, another sequel to this. No one wants this. Like, I do. You know, it's like I found when I was reading that post, I saw one. I think it was on the Incredibles 2 spot for the Edmund Mode thing, and they had a comment saying, you know, if they continue to just advertise this movie as fashion, then I'm gonna pass on it. No. They think that just because the movie is advertising a little bit of fashion doesn't mean the movie's gonna suck. Like, come on. It's a movie that's been waiting for forever, and we're finally getting it. And so this guy's complaining about fashion, thinking that they're marketing this one TV spot for just fashion. Maybe, but maybe they're. I think in that particular video they were talking about, you know, how Edmund was designing design suits and stuff, and that Alaska Girl was getting a new suit kind of thing, and the comment was like, if they're just gonna keep, you know, marketing marketing with the TV spots with fashion, then I'm not gonna see it. I'm like, you're missing out, my friend. You know, it's like really stupid. But yeah, that's all I can say about that. Do you guys have any last thoughts about this, or should we wrap up?
Yeah, no, I'm kind of with you. Like, no, not really.
Chakky, how about you?
Nah, not really. Sorry.
Okay. I always do this. Every episode, I'll make sure everyone is good to go. But we are unfortunately out of time. We are going way past our usual time slot. But again, that's okay.
Really?
We do that. We go on and on and on. It's okay. It's gonna happen. We don't have to be exactly the 1 hour time slot. I like doing that because it's a lot easier to edit and also just a lot easier to. I just feel like 1 hour is plenty of time, but we go over an hour. Who cares? I care about talking to my friends and having fun talking about this stuff. It's fun, you know? So, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so yeah, I think that's gonna do it. One more thing about the Madhouse in general. Do you guys think that we should stop with the 1 hour thing, or do you think we should just do whatever we want? Because it kind of depends on...
I think it's useful for, like, a YouTube series. It's consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
because I remember having a 2 hour podcast one time. It was ridiculously long, but I don't know if I like, because a lot of the episodes we will record for an hour and it'll be like a little less than that, or I'll record an episode and we'll be recorded for just a little bit of time. It'll be like 20-minute episode or whatever, and I just feel like that. Like I don't know, like I think this podcast it won't really matter. Like I think that the reason why we do an hour is because like Big Daddy Guy he lives in Kansas, so he has to have an hour. But I feel like I don't think it should matter anymore. I don't really think it's a big deal we go like just an hour. I think it's okay if we go over. I think the new message should be like, what should the maximum be for it? I think that's what I'm trying to say. What should be the maximum time limit we have? Because I feel like we should have some kind of limit. Because I don't know exactly.
You know,
Yeah, I don't know either. I just wanted your opinion about this because
Maybe it's just something.
for the big special, yeah, definitely think so. We can talk about more of the stuff. I just wanted to bring up the ideas for what we can do, and then maybe when we actually get to the episode, we can start talking about more. But we can probably discuss it a little more next week, and then we can finally hit it. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say for this podcast. And that's all I had to talk about for this episode because that's all I had because I literally couldn't think of anything else to talk about. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Madhouse. We hope you enjoyed listening to it. If you did, please hit the like button. We all really appreciate the support. And if you're this channel, subscribe for more episodes of this podcast and other series that I do. Also, make sure you hit that notification bell so you can be notified when episodes of this podcast come out. And in the meantime, make sure you subscribe to Chakky. That link will also be in the description. Check out her channel. She does Vocaloid stuff. It is not shit. It is very cool to listen to if you are into that kind of, music, which is cool. Not everyone else, but I like her style. Anyway, and we will be back next time with another episode. Alright, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.